Welcome all of you. Today in the class of new chapter, that is foreign exchange rate, and in this chapter we are going to study the contents that are foreign exchange rate, methods of exchange rate system, determination of equilibrium level of exchange rate, foreign exchange market, its function and its forms. So the entire chapter of foreign exchange contains all these things, and we need to elaborate one by one what are they basically. So starting with foreign exchange, we say it is the value of currency other than domestic currency, or if we say it is also be denoted as foreign currency. It means if we talk about the currency of United States, if we talk about the currency of United Kingdom, if we talk about the currency of Japan, China, UAE, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, we can easily say these countries' currency will be termed as foreign exchange in terms of India. Agree? Now, if we come to next content, that is foreign exchange rate. The foreign exchange rate is basically an exchange system whereby currency of domestic country is exchanged with the country of rest of the world. It means, first of all, we told you about the foreign exchange, that is foreign currency plus value of denomination, value of denomination at which the country can deal in the international trade. In simple, we say it as foreign currency means a currency of foreign nation, or we can say in simple, it is the currency of foreign nation, including all the concerned denomination in which the international trade can be facilitated with the respective country. So if we talk about the foreign exchange, here we go for foreign exchange rate. It means it refers to the rate at which currency of one country can be exchanged with the currency of another country. For example, if we say in front of you that $1 can be exchanged with 76.47 rupees at present, that is the rate, right? We can say this rate will be termed as foreign exchange rate. So I repeat once again, this is the rate at which currency of domestic country can be exchanged with the currency of foreign nation or foreign country. And we have given you this example as foreign exchange rate. Now, if we talk about foreign exchange rate, we just need to come to the methods of exchange system. It means, if we say, we can have some one example also, that when we say $1 can be exchanged for rupees say 82.4, or we can say 82.79. It means it is again an example of foreign exchange rate. by which we can say the currency of one country can be exchanged with the currency of another country. So this is what we call it as foreign exchange, and this we call it as foreign exchange rate. अब ये जानना जरूरी है स्टूडेंट्स, इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो दैट इफ वी आर डीलिंग विद द फॉरेन एक्सचेंज, इट मीन्स how much amount of foreign currency is coming into India, how it is coming to India, for what purpose it is coming into India, and for this purpose only we just need to look over to the methods of exchange rate system. Now we will go to the methods of foreign exchange rate system. So we have three different methods. One is fixed exchange rate system. Second one is flexible exchange rate system. And the third one is a combination of, we can say, hybrid of both, that is managed floating system of exchange. Now, if we need to look over to these methods, first of all we are going to see what do you mean by fixed exchange rate system. So, if we talk about fixed exchange rate system, as the name suggests itself, it is being fixed or determined by government. So we can say this system is fixed where the foreign or domestic currency is fixed or determined as against gold foreign exchange by government. It means government has the whole sole right to determine the domestic currency in terms of foreign exchange or foreign currency. Now, second, why government decide to maintain the stability in foreign trade and capital. In simple, we can say in order to avoid market fluctuations or unnecessary fluctuations in international trade measures, government resort to fixed exchange rate system. It means to maintain the stability in foreign trade as well as capital. Now, for this we can say a huge amount of gold reserves is required to be maintained. It means government requires a huge amount of reserves in terms of gold to be maintained, right? That's why we can say the fixed exchange system can be facilitated. Okay. Now we have two terms to be followed, that is, if government resort to reduce its domestic currency, or we can say reduction in the domestic currency by the government will be termed as devaluation. Devaluation of domestic currency. This will be by the act of government. Government decide that we are now going to reduce our country currency. That is what the China did in the last year. They devalued their currency yuan in terms of US dollar. Again, if we say if there is increase in domestic currency by the government, it will be termed as devaluation of domestic currency. So both the terms have their own significance. Reduction in domestic currency will be termed as devaluation, Increase in domestic currency by the government will be termed as devaluation. Fine. It means we just need to see, according to fixed exchange system, this is basically determined by the government in order to maintain the stability or to avoid market fluctuations in international trade. Huge amount of gold reserves are required. Reduction in domestic currency will be termed as devaluation, and increase in domestic currency will be termed as revaluation. Now, what will be the flaws or demerits we can presume? It means it will adversely affect the venture capital, trade alliances, FDIs and investment by the foreign nations. It means whenever the foreign companies would like to enter into that country which is supplying the fixed exchange system, it will be very difficult to face such amount of rigidity by the foreign nations or foreign companies. Since they want to trade and they want to make their own level of profit, but when they are presuming that they won't be able to get their level of profit, or they won't be able to have a strict negotiations or bargaining, their venture capital or investment or profits or licenses will be affected. So this is what the foreign exchange is all about. Now we say there are two methods of foreign exchange. We say there are two methods of fixed exchange rate system. One is gold standard exchange rate system, and another one is Bretton Woods, or we can say pegged system of exchange rate. It means if we say about gold standard, this was the oldest form of fixed exchange system, where every country currency was to be exchanged in terms of gold, in terms of the amount of gold they are having. Now, if we say in respect of gold standard exchange system, and every nation is about to have their gold, so every country currency will be dealt in terms of gold. So, how can we say? Let's take an example. If we say $1 can buy, say 10 gram of gold, right? It means if $1 can buy 10 gram of gold, and the same way we can say 1 pound can buy 20 gram of gold. It means if we compare both these values, we can say if we need to buy 20 gram of gold with $, we must be having $2 to buy 20 gram of gold. So, in conclusion, we can derive that 1 pound can be exchanged with $2. This is how the gold standard system was used to be dealt with, since every country currency was to be measured in terms of gold. This was followed in earlier days of 1980s, 1760s, but thereafter a new system was facilitated by the initiation of the International Monetary Fund. There at the place Britain, we have initiated a new exchange system that was known as Bretton Woods. Now, here in this system that was applied in US, so it means first of all we have made the $, as a central exchange currency in all parts of the world. It means what we need to do? we just need to measure every country's currency in terms of US dollar. And again, US dollar was to be measured in terms of gold. So if US dollar was to be measured in terms of gold, we can easily say the US dollar was made a central currency to deal with. So at Bretton Woods system that was applied a peg system, it means there were several lots or pegs that were maintained where we have categorized $1 US, 10 US, 100 US, 10,000 US, 1 million US, and thereby accordingly we have measured every country currency by these suitable pegs. Right? Now, if we are seeing that Bretton Woods peg system or lot system where we made the US dollar as a central exchange system, again in this system the gold reserve was required to be maintained by every other country currency. So these are the two methods of fixed exchange rate system. Okay. Now we are going to see the flexible exchange rate system. What is this? Here we are going to see if we are concerned with the flexible exchange system, it means we can say as per flexible exchange rate system. First of all, the foreign exchange rate system is basically determined by market forces. It means that demand and supply have a major role to play in the determination of foreign exchange rate. Here, there was no role of government to fix or determine or to act with respect to fixation of or determination of exchange rate system. Right? This system is also called as floating exchange rate system because here the foreign currency when exchanged with the domestic currency will be floating in accordance with the respective demand and supply factors. Okay. Now, if we say, we can easily say there is no or least requirement of gold reserves to be maintained. It means a country does not require much gold reserve to be held with itself in order to facilitate or determination of foreign exchange rate. Okay. Now we can easily say venture capital can be established very easily since flexibility will be all round corners. We can say FDI investment will be on a higher scale since every other country would see their prosperity to deal with other nations when they will be seeing that if the currency is getting fluctuated or if there is a chance of getting huge profitable trade with some other nation whose currency is being lower than our country currency, we can benefit accordingly. Now, there is a demerit that there will be huge market fluctuation can be established, and such market fluctuation will disrupt the stability of foreign trade. It means if we need to conduct a sound trade system, market fluctuations will definitely be affecting the suitability or stability of foreign trade. We just need to see whenever we need to trade, if the foreign exchange are being fluctuating very frequently. So we just need to see that huge market fluctuations or rapid market fluctuations or frequent market fluctuations will lead to even heavy losses also, or even lead to huge amount of profits also. So it will be a highly speculative for both the countries do not trade in the flexible exchange system where there is a dominance of market forces of demand and supply. So every other country or every other company just need to focus in a very strong way whether the time is appropriate to deal with foreign exchange or not, since we are operating in flexible exchange system. Now, here we can say again there are two terms. If we say reduction in domestic currency by market forces will be called as depreciation of the domestic currency. And if we say increase in the domestic currency by market forces, it will be called as appreciation of domestic currency. It means in fixed exchange system, reduction was termed as devaluation. In flexible exchange system or floating exchange system, reduction in domestic currency will be termed as depreciation. In fixed exchange system, increase in domestic currency by the act of government was termed as revaluation. And here in flexible exchange system, increase in domestic currency will be termed as appreciation. That you just need to learn by heart. Now, how can we say the currency of our country is in appreciation mode or depreciation mode? Let's take an example. See, for example, we say US dollar is currently at 76.4. Now, it means we can say we must be having 76.47 rupees in order to trade with $1 US. But due to market forces, if our $1 US becomes 70 rupees only, we can say that now we require only 70 rupees to exchange $1 US. It means this will be termed as appreciation of domestic currency, since we are requiring lesser and lesser amount of our domestic currency to exchange with foreign exchange. Likewise, if this US dollar would have been rupees 80, it means we would have been requiring more rupees to exchange $1 US. This term will be known as depreciation of currency. Very ironical, students. In 1917, there was a time where 1 rupee could was exchanged for rupees $17. It means in 1917 era, 1 rupee, we say 1 rupee was used to exchange with $17, and now we are living in the world of 2020. $1 US is being exchanged for 76 rupees. It means how deeply our country currency has been depreciated, and this is what the major concern that our India is suffering for so long. Since our GDP is quite low, if our GDP would have been very high, we can surely say that depreciation would have benefited us a lot. Since more and more of foreign exchange in terms of US dollar would have been entered into India with the receipts of exports. Right? It means whenever we are buying or importing any machinery, any technology from any foreign nation, we need to pay huge amount of money in terms of domestic currency in order to pay the amount in terms of that country currency, or we say foreign currency. So these are the two methods that we have discussed, that are fixed exchange system and flexible exchange system. Now we come to managed floating. Managed floating is basically the combination of both the system where the government needs to take care of the rising fluctuations. It means if we talk about the managed floating, system of exchange, we just need to see basically the exchange rate system. Exchange rate is determined by market forces but regulated and maintained by government from time to time, or we can say effectively. It means no country would like to see the heavy fluctuations that are rising in that country. So, when the exchange rate is being determined by the market force and market forces are getting very high or very fluctuating, then the government needs to act. The RBI, central bank, has to act on behalf of the government and need to regulate and maintain effectively. It means if we say it is maintained by government, it means who comes in limelight? The central bank. It means central bank, on the pretext of government, used to take measures in order to control and maintain and regulate the exchange rate system. We cannot see that our domestic currency is just getting fall down very frequently. We just need to make a stop of it, or we can also even not, we would like to see that our country currency is just rising and rising and rising. It will lead to a lesser amount of trade with the other countries if our country currency will be much higher or in much appreciated value. Okay? For maintaining a good trade relations, or we can say in order to maintain a healthier international trade with almost every other prospective countries or developed country, we just need to maintain, regulate our country currency with the foreign exchange. Okay? So this is basically managed floating system, where the exchange system is determined by market forces but regulated and maintained by government effectively. It leads to the control of fluctuations. Plus, it leads to a healthy venture capital, good source of FDI investment, right? And if we can say the trade alliances can also be made very suitably, so that none of the countries or none of the companies of foreign nation should be adversely affected with our country's currency.